everybody. It's Abby Glassenberg from Craft Industry Alliance. I hope you're having a fabulous day. We are here live every Wednesday to talk with one of our amazing members for our member spotlight interview. So we get to drop in on one of our members. We get to see a little bit of their studio usually, maybe some samples of their work, and hear about their business journey. And today we're going to be talking with Sandi from Tabby Weaver, which is an incredible shop that sells weaving supplies. And I'm very excited to talk with her. This summer, I had the opportunity to travel to Colorado, to Boulder, and visit the Shack Spindle plant, which was really cool. If you're interested in weaving, we got to go on a factory tour. I love factory tours, and see where the spinning wheels are made and how they're made. It was very cool. They are really made by hand. In the US, there's very few parts that aren't all wood. And I learned a lot about spinning wheels and spinning in general. So Sandi from Tabby Weaver, I see you here. If you request to join, I think I might be able to do that from my side, but I don't think, not sure. Let's see. But if you request to join at the bottom with the plus sign, then I can let you in. So we're going to be talking all about weaving today, and I'm really excited about that. And our newsletter went out this morning. If you're not yet subscribed, we round up craft industry news of the week for free in our newsletter every week. So you can head over to our homepage and subscribe to that if it sounds interesting to you. And I just clicked to let Sandi in, so hopefully she'll be joining us soon, and we'll get a little bit of a taste of a weaving business. Hey, how are you?
Good. How are you?
Good. I'm glad you were able to join us for our member spotlight. So tell us a little bit about Tabby Weavers. What is this business all about? I see all the cool things behind you.
Yeah. So I'm in my shop right now, and I'm a weaving supply and equipment store. So I sell looms, big and small. I sell all of the accessories for weaving. I sell the yarns that people need for weaving, and I also teach weaving here in the shop.
That's awesome. And where are you located?
I'm located in Fishers, Indiana, which is a northern suburb of Indianapolis.
And I wonder how many shops there are like yours in the U.S. Is it fairly common? I feel like it's fairly uncommon.
It's fairly uncommon. It's people who are weavers that live within driving distance of a weaving shop are really lucky.
I bet.
Yeah.
Because the thing with weaving and with purchasing a loom, in my experience, and from visiting the Shack Spindle factory over the summer and getting to like talk with them a bunch, it just seems to me like it's really helpful to have expertise to consult with before you make such a big purchase, both financially and also physically. And then to have expertise to help you learn how to use it as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and weaving is complicated, and it involves a lot of math, and it's very different from some other fiber arts crafts like knitting and crocheting. I used to be a crocheter. I've tried my hand at knitting, and they're just very, very different from weaving. And for weaving, you have to love incredibly tedious things. It's really tedious, but if you like that kind of thing, it's just this rabbit hole that never ends.
Right. Oh my gosh. And I do love that kind of thing. Like that's where you get into your zone, I feel like.
Yeah.
Like the rest of your worries just disappear, So I think there's a lot to be said for repetitive tedium in craft, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But so how did you become a weaver?
I've always been interested in textiles, and weaving is basically making fabric. So I've traveled a lot in my life. I've been around Asia, I've been to Africa, Middle East, and everywhere I go, I see textiles that are woven. And so that, I think, is really what started it out. My mom started me with crocheting and stuff and needlepoint when I was little, so I kind of had that intro to wanting to be a crafter. But I left my regular full-time career several years ago and was looking for something else to do. And had started learning to weave at Tabby Tree Weaver, which is the shop I own. And
Okay.
the owner wanted to retire, and I just had this perfect opportunity in my life to take over her shop, and here I am. I've had it for 3 years now.
And I'm sure the customers, her long-term customers and long-time customers, first of all, I'm sure they came from very far away to come because it's not like there's
Yeah,
that many weaving shops as we
right.
mentioned. But also, I'm sure they were just so grateful that you did decide to buy the business because,
Oh yeah.
otherwise it would have probably just disappeared.
Yeah, yeah. I had a lot of very, very grateful people. Thank God for you.
Right, which is a great feeling,
Mhm.
honestly. So was it a learning process for you to buy a business? Because sometimes I
Mm,
think people get intimidated or think, well, I have to build anything I do from scratch. And
yeah.
honestly, buying a business, whether it's an in-person brick and mortar business or a website or both,
Hmm.
sometimes it's really a good way to jumpstart and kind of land already with something at your feet.
Yeah. It was a huge learning curve, especially since I took an enormous risk and not being an extremely experienced weaver at the time. And people can be weaving for decades and still be learning.
Right. And
Um,
that's
like
intimidating because they come in and they know more than you know, and you're the shop owner.
Yes, yes, that was a lot of fake it till you make it going on there.
I can
um,
relate to that. Yeah.
yeah, and also running a retail. I had no experience in retail or sales, but I did have management experience from my previous job, and a lot of that translated. And I also was adjunct faculty at the local university, and so I had teaching experience that helped with setting
Right.
up classes and developing curriculum and stuff. But definitely was a huge learning curve. And plus, I had to really modernize because she didn't have much of a web presence, which I found very necessary. In using technology like a new updated point of sale system and things like that. I had to implement all of that stuff and learn it while I was doing it.
Right. That's
So,
really a big, big job.
and the
So,
worst has been the bookkeeping. Oh,
oh, yeah. I mean,
I'm
I
still a little lost, I have to admit.
usually when you buy a business, the seller has to kind of get all their books in order so that you can value the business and do due diligence and understand what the cash flow is, what the profits like, and all of that. I don't know what shape her books were in. Was it very manual? It sounded like she
It
wasn't
was
super
all on paper.
on paper. Wow,
So I
wow.
had to learn
Okay.
how to use QuickBooks and yeah.
Yeah, talk about tedious, right? That's tedious, right
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
Wow. So have you, I guess my question would be, do you have any like tips for somebody who is jumping into a retail type of business for the first time now that it sounds like 3 years into it, you've probably had lots of mistakes that you've made, some successes along the way too,
Hmm.
but any advice for folks who might be like, yeah, I'm actually going to do something similar, maybe not a weaving store, but a yarn shop or something.
Yeah. I would say it's going to cost you more than you think. Um,
Yes.
I mean, I had set aside naively like $2,000, I think, to buy some new inventory, some new products. And that was just a fraction of what I was actually going to need. Um, and then I think the other thing is really about mindset.
Okay.
It's a big learning curve, and it's very, very, it can be very scary. But if you have the mindset, I've got this and I can learn. I may not know all of these things right now,
Right.
but I will learn. And also be prepared to make a lot of mistakes.
Yeah.
I've made tons of mistakes, but my business is growing every year by quite a bit. So you learn from your mistakes and you just keep going.
That's
And
right. You can't beat yourself up over those things. And I
right.
love that sort of growth mindset that's like, I will learn how to do this.
Hmm.
And I think it's okay to sort of admit, like, I don't know what that means. Like, when somebody asks, the
Yeah.
accountant or something, and you're like, can you explain it to me? To just be the novice and just admit that you don't know, instead of pretending like you know it all. So
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think that's good. Yeah, that's an important mindset. So maybe you can tell us a little bit about the products that you carry because you do have a website. So if people are far away, they can
Mm-hmm.
still check them out online too if you're not in Indiana. But tell us a little bit about some of the maybe the best sellers. Like
Mm-hmm.
I'm imagining maybe some of the smaller rigid heddle looms are popular because it's easier to get started and it's more portable. But you tell me what's popular in your shop.
Rigid heddle looms really are flying off the shelves these days. It's become very, very popular, but I do think a lot of people have the impression that that's where you begin with weaving, that that's the beginner loom, and it's really not necessary to start with a rigid heddle loom first. I teach classes all the time to people to teach them to use multi-shaft looms
Mm-hmm.
when they've never touched one before. So um, rigid heddle looms are simpler and easier to learn, but if you have the will to spend a bit more time and effort on learning, you can jump straight to a loom that has 4 shafts or 8 shafts or whatever. And what right behind me here is a
Yeah.
16 shaft
Wow.
loom um, that is computerized.
Oh.
So you can go from really simple looms, from a little handheld thing to make a
Mm-hmm.
tiny mini
Yeah.
tapestry, all the way up to a monster like this. And this brand of loom is Louette,
Okay.
and they come out of the Netherlands, and they do really, really excellent looms. But my biggest seller is really the shaft looms that come out of Colorado.
Yeah.
They're really user friendly. They're foldable.
Mm-hmm.
They're definitely, their baby wolf loom is probably the most popular loom right
Okay.
now for a
Right. The
floor
Shark
model.
Baby Wolf. Okay. Good to know.
Hmm.
And do you sell books as well or
I do.
magazines? Okay. Do you have
Yep.
like a favorite book recommendation or one that just is popular right now that people might want to check out?
Well, there are kind of the old standards. There's a Learning to Weave by Chandler is a book I tell all of my beginning weavers to get.
Okay.
And from there, you move on to, it's good to get a couple pattern books, like
Mm-hmm.
a pattern book for 4 shaft patterns, then another one for 8 shaft patterns, depending on the loom that you have. And then from there, weaving books tend to delve into specific weave structures. Like you'll find a book that's all about twills, or one that's all about, a certain type of weave that you can just delve into with that book. So to start out with the Learning to Weave and a couple good pattern books is what I recommend at first.
That's great. I know I had Rebecca Mezoff on a while back, and she's got a weaving book out with, I want to say, Story Publishing. That's really pretty. I don't remember exactly what kind of looms. I'm sorry, Rebecca.
Yeah.
That's also a pretty book that I've seen recently. So
Hmm.
that's great. And then as far as other supplies are concerned, I'm assuming besides looms and books, you also sell the yarns that are
Oh,
needed. So do you
yes.
want to talk a little bit about what is needed for weaving as far as yarn?
Yeah, yeah. So weaving yarns, they tend to be on cones, but some weavers think, oh, I can only weave with a yarn if it's on a cone. I actually stock a lot of yarns that are made for knitters. I just got in the whole line of Malabrigo silk paca in all of the colors. It's made for knitters or crocheters, but it's wonderful for weaving. But yarns that are made for weavers tend to be multiply, very strong. You For the warp that you put on your loom, where this is the warp here.
Mm-hmm.
It's the threads that you put on the loom in preparation for weaving. They're going to be under high tension, so you need something that's going to be strong and not snap on you. Uh,
Right.
for your warp. And then for your weft threads, which are the ones that you weave in, you can use anything that you want. Um, so yeah, I carry mostly standard weaving yarns and then a selection of other yarns that I found that are wonderful for weaving as well.
That's great. Okay, so Tabby True Beaver, if you want to follow along or shop on the website, where should we go? How to find you? Do you have a newsletter, or what's the best way to kind of keep in touch and get
Yeah,
in
so
touch?
www.tabbytreeweaver.com is my website, and right from there you can sign up for my newsletter.
Perfect.
And I'm about to send out a newsletter, hopefully later today or tomorrow. So if you want to
Yay!
get it, jump on there today.
Yeah,
Um,
that's perfect.
and also, a lot of people like to know that I don't spam you. I, I,
Yeah,
I, I really take a long time to write my newsletters, so they don't go out very often. um, so yeah, that's the best way. Follow me on Facebook, follow me on Instagram, and yeah, and I'm always happy to help weavers, whether they're local or not. You give me a call, and I can help you out with what you need.
that's wonderful. Well, this has been really great, Sandy. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you for being a Craft Industry Alliance member. And
Yeah,
thank you for like sharing about your business and giving us a little insight. I think it was so interesting and I'm just excited to know more about it.
yeah. Well, thank you so much for having me.
All right, bye everybody. See you next week. Take care.